Hello again, everybody. This is Don from So Young Designs, and we're here tonight to work on a quilt project that I have to do for a class that I'm teaching this Friday at Quilting in Las Vegas. So this class is going to be a class on using the IQ Designer. So you can see I got my Destiny here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the camera function and the IQ Designer, and we're going to scan this fabric in. And then we're going to box out for the red box. We'll box out for the house and the roof. And then we'll fill everything else in with a nice stippling design. So what we're going to do first is we're going to scan the fabric and get it all put into the IQ, and then we'll do some stippling. So let me get this thing ready and I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, we're back. We got everything hooped up and ready to go. We're in IQ Designer, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to scan this fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit up to here, and I'm going to tell it to scan. It's going to tell me the frame's going to move, and it's going to scan. Okay, here we go. We're all scanned in. I didn't think I needed to show you the scanning process. It's, I'm sure we've all seen that. So I'm going to try and reach around this camera here and show you what we got. So here's our background image. If I need to make it darker, I can make it darker. If I want to make it lighter, I can make it lighter. I can make it all the way to the point to where it disappears. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to draw a box around here. If you want to create a line image, you can create a line image from that. If you hit OK, you're going to see what's going to happen. You actually get a pretty good line image, something that you can maybe use or do something with, but we're not doing that part. So what we're going to do is we're just using the background, and we're going to draw over this. So we're going to go into our line properties. These are our line properties. There's the different types of lines that we're going to be using. These are the stitches, and these are the colors. Satin stitch, a run stitch, and bean stitch, and candle wicking, and what have you. But there's also one here for no stitch. Okay, so we're going to go with no stitch, and then we're going to go with the line tool, the polygon line tool. So what we're going to do, you can do it two ways. You can grab a shape, draw a rectangle, and try and make it to the right size to fit that. Or what you can do is you can zoom in a little bit, and you can navigate on this screen up in the upper right hand corner. And what I can do is I can just touch there. See, I don't like that where it touched, so I'm going to move over a little bit. There we go. Now I'm just going to drag a line down and let go of it. Now I'm going to come down further, and what I'm going to do is I don't have to touch there. I'm just going to touch right here in the corner and put that line right where I want it and let go. And then I'm going to drag over to this corner, and I'm going to try and do this without hitting my camera. Take a line there and touch that corner. And then I'm going to go all the way up to the top. I'm going to take that same line. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to touch that corner. Now I'm going to go back to where I started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get as close as I can to it. If I get really close enough to it, it'll snap to it. So now we have a box all the way around our area. So if you want to see it, there you go. You can see the box. So that sets our outer boundary. So now we want to set the inner boundary. So we're telling an IQ Designer we do not want to stitch in this area. We want to stitch inside this box. But I don't want to stitch over the house. So what I want to do is I've still got the line tool. And what I can do is I can start up here, and I can just draw a line down to the house. Now I'm on a curve, so I can try and go straight across. But if I just touch, let me back up one more time. If I just touch, let go of the line where I want to go, do a little bit further, touch, let it go, touch, let it go, and just keep doing that and working my way around until I get to that corner. Now I can go all the way up here, and I can touch this corner, and then I can touch here and try and work my way. You don't have to be perfect. In fact, if you're outside the lines on this one, outside on the house, you're going to be fine. You're just trying to give it a boundary of where you don't want it to stitch. So it's not like you have to draw perfectly on top of the lines. You can say I'm purposely just trying to go around it. So now I've drawn around the house. So if I zoom out, the stippling is going to be inside of here. It's going to cover these little, the holly and the little star and trees. I'm okay with that. I just don't want to stipple the house. So we're going to do it that way. So now that I've set all my boundaries, my outer boundary, my inner boundary, now I'm going to go to the region properties, which I call the fill properties. So sort of the same things. You have different tools and brushes to use, but you also have a stippling on here. You also have colors. You can use black. I usually use something that I can see very well. Red is a good color for that. So you go into here. So now you can see right here, it shows that I have stippling. And if I go right here and it got all set up where I want to go, and now I go to the little beaker, now I'm going to tell it, I want you to paint in here. So that's where it's going to stipple. It's not getting inside the house. It's not going outside the boundaries. So now we're going to go to next. And you can see where my marching ants are, what's the outside boundary and what's the inside boundary. This is what I have selected. And these are your properties down here. You're going to have the stitch run length. You're going to have the separation of how tight your stippling is to how big your stippling is. And then you're going to have how far the offset is from the outside edge and from the inside edge. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave that set it there, but I'm going to take this a little bit bigger. I'm going to go out to about a 3, I think. And we'll see how it looks. Just remember what it is if you want to do all of them the same. So there is that. And then we're going to hit set. And then we can go to preview. Hit OK. And it's going to give me a preview. That is what my stippling is going to look like. That actually looks pretty good. It actually goes right up over the trees and around the house and everything else. If I wanted to, I can just stipple here and I can just stipple there. I can make those boundaries that way if I want. I'm not worried about the little bit on the trees and stuff like that. I just want the house to be left by itself. So now I'm going to hit set. I'm going to hit OK. And there it is. That's my embroidery. So as soon as I go to embroidery, it's now ready to embroider. So I'm going to get this thing, the thread lined up and get everything ready to go. And then we'll be right back.